Right now, as you watch this, you're operating on autopilot in ways you don't even realize. You've accepted assumptions about who you are, what's possible, and how life works. Assumptions that were never really yours to begin with. What if I told you that most of what you call reality is actually a collective agreement you never consciously signed up for? Awakening is not a destination. It's a journey. A journey that begins with questioning, continues with struggle, and leads to freedom. In this video, we'll explore the steps to awakening and how you can begin your own journey toward greater awareness and liberation.
What does it mean to awaken? At its core, awakening is the process of becoming aware of the truth beyond the illusion of reality. It's about recognizing the unconscious patterns that have shaped your life, transcending the limitations of the ego, and connecting with your true self. Awakening isn't about escaping the world. It's about seeing it clearly. It's about living with awareness, compassion, and connection to something deeper than the surface-level experiences of daily life.
It's like when you finally realize those terms and conditions you've been blindly accepting your whole life actually contain important information. Wait, I agreed to what exactly? Turns out, life came with fine print too. When we awaken, we align with the deeper truths of existence and find a sense of purpose beyond the material world. In a world that profits from your unconsciousness, from your automatic consumption, your unquestioned beliefs, your fear-based decisions, awakening becomes an act of rebellion. Every moment you remain unconscious, you're not just limiting yourself, you're perpetuating systems that keep others asleep too. You might be ready for this journey if you've ever felt like you're living someone else's life, if success feels hollow, if you're tired of the same patterns repeating, or if you sense there's something more meaningful waiting for you. The journey to awakening follows distinct stages, though they're rarely experienced in a linear fashion. The first stage is recognition, becoming aware that there's more to life than what you've been taught. This often begins with questioning your beliefs, your identity, and the nature of reality itself. It's that moment when you realize you've been living someone else's definition of success, climbing a ladder only to discover it's leaning against the wrong wall. You might start to notice patterns in your behavior or thinking that no longer serve you. This recognition can be triggered by a life-changing event, a spiritual experience, or simply a growing sense of dissatisfaction with the status quo. The second stage is struggle. As you begin to question the foundations of your reality, you'll likely face resistance from society, from loved ones, and especially from your own ego. The ego resists change because it threatens its sense of control and identity. It's like that friend who insists on driving even when they don't know where they're going. No, I don't need directions. I'm sure the Grand Canyon is just around this corner in downtown Manhattan. This resistance often manifests as fear, doubt, or a stubborn attachment to old patterns. During this stage, you might feel isolated or misunderstood as you begin to walk a different path from those around you. The third stage is transformation. This is where the real work happens. Transformation requires letting go of attachments to outcomes, to identities, to beliefs that no longer serve you. It's like discovering you've been wearing glasses with the wrong prescription your entire life. Suddenly removing them is disorienting, but the clarity that follows is undeniable. It's about embracing change and allowing yourself to be reshaped by new understandings. This stage can be both liberating and terrifying as you release the familiar and step into the unknown. The final stage is integration. Here, you begin living from a place of awareness, aligning your actions with deeper truths. Integration isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity and congruence between your inner knowing and outer expression. Integration means living as a conscious being in an unconscious world. It's maintaining your awareness while your coworker complains about the same problems for the 100th time, or staying centered when society tries to pull you back into old patterns of fear and scarcity. You'll still face challenges, but you'll approach them with greater clarity and compassion. The path to awakening is rarely smooth. You'll face resistance from society, which often values conformity over consciousness. Questioning materialism can lead to judgment from others. Try telling someone you're decluttering your life, and suddenly they look at you like you've joined a cult. What do you mean you don't need the limited edition waffle maker that also walks your dog? Are you feeling okay? You might find yourself outgrowing relationships or communities that once felt like home. The ego presents another form of resistance. As you begin to see beyond its limitations, the ego fights to maintain control. It will use fear, doubt, and attachment to pull you back into old patterns. This internal struggle can be more challenging than any external opposition. Perhaps the greatest challenge is facing the unknown. Awakening requires stepping into uncertainty and letting go of familiar comforts. It demands courage to release what you thought you knew and open yourself to new possibilities. One of the most profound challenges on the awakening journey is what mystics have called the dark night of the soul. This is a period of intense struggle and confusion that often precedes transformation. During this spiritual crisis, you're forced to confront your deepest fears and attachments. Everything you thought you knew may be called into question. You might feel lost, abandoned, or completely alone. Yet the dark night is not a punishment. It's a necessary part of the journey. It breaks down old patterns and beliefs, creating space for growth and awakening. The 16th century mystic Saint John of the Cross described this experience as a path to union with the divine. Similar concepts appear in Buddhism, Vedanta, and other spiritual traditions across cultures and time. They all recognize that profound transformation often requires a period of dissolution before rebirth. So how do you navigate this journey? Let me share some practical steps toward awakening. First, period. Cultivate awareness. Practice mindfulness to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. My first attempt at meditation went something like, I am one with the universe. I wonder if I left the oven on. Did I respond to that email? Wait, am I doing this right? Oh look, I'm thinking about thinking. Turns out the mind is like a toddler at a birthday party. It's going to run around excitedly no matter how much you ask it to sit still. Notice the stories you tell yourself and question their origins. Are they truly yours, or have you inherited them from family, culture, or society? Regular meditation, journaling, or simply taking time for quiet reflection can help develop this awareness. Second, period. Embrace discomfort. Growth rarely happens within your comfort zone. Be willing to face your fears and examine the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. When you feel resistance arising, get curious about it rather than avoiding it. What is this resistance trying to protect? What might be possible if you move through it? Third, point. Practice letting go. Release the need for control, validation, and material possessions. This is especially challenging on social media, where we're basically asking the world, do you like me? How about now? What about in this lighting with this filter? Your spiritual self is watching this like, really? This is what we're doing with our enlightenment potential today? Notice your attachments to outcomes, to identities, to being right, and practice holding them more lightly. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or goals, but rather pursuing them without being defined by them. Fourth, period. Seek guidance. While awakening is a deeply personal journey, you don't have to walk it alone. Learn from spiritual teachings, find mentors who embody the awareness you seek, or join communities that support your growth. Different traditions offer various maps for the territory. Find the ones that resonate with your experience.
The rewards of awakening are profound. As you progress on this journey, you'll experience a deeper sense of peace that isn't dependent on external circumstances. You'll discover purpose that aligns with your authentic self rather than societal expectations. You'll feel more connected to yourself, to others, and to the world around you. Perhaps most importantly, you'll experience freedom. Freedom from fear, from unconscious patterns, from the limitations of the ego. This freedom allows you to respond to life with clarity and compassion rather than reacting from conditioning. You'll still face challenges, but you'll approach them from a place of awareness rather than automaticity. Remember that awakening is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new way of living. It's like graduating from the School of Unconscious Living, only to realize you've just enrolled in Advanced Consciousness 101. And unfortunately, this course doesn't offer summer breaks. It's not about reaching a destination, but about living with awareness and continuing to grow. Each moment offers an opportunity to awaken more fully to the truth of who you are. The journey to awakening is not easy, but it is worth it. Each step brings you closer to freedom. Freedom from unconscious patterns. Freedom from limiting beliefs. Freedom to live authentically and purposefully. Your awakening journey starts with one simple practice. For the next week, before making any decision, what to eat, how to respond to someone, what to watch, pause and ask. Is this choice coming from awareness or automaticity? This single question can begin to crack open the shell of unconsciousness. In our next video, we'll explore the role of love and connection in awakening and how they can guide us toward greater freedom. Until then, I invite you to begin or continue your own journey with curiosity, courage, and compassion. The path to awakening begins with a single step, and that step is yours to take. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the journey to awakening. May your path be filled with discovery, growth, and ultimately, freedom.